Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Tom. Welcome to another edition of Try This at Home. Today I'm going to do another round of trying to learn how to bake just from a book. The recipe for today is going to be banana bread. And the book that I've chosen is Baking by Katie Marshall, and it's from the Hobby Time series. Now if you look at it, the cover isn't that exciting, but what I like about it is that on the inside, each recipe takes just 2 pages. There's very simple diagrams, as you can see, very simple list of ingredients, so it all looks very simple and easy to do, which is what I'm going for. Now, I had a coworker who watched the last video I did of baking, and she pointed out to me that it looked like I really didn't know what I was doing. And that's absolutely true. I don't have much experience with baking, and I really am trying to learn how to do everything from the book. And we're just going to see how that goes. All right? So, first we're going to talk about the ingredients that we're going to need for this recipe. So we're going to need some bananas, of course, 3 eggs, some flour, specifically self-rising flour, some baking powder, some vanilla extract, a little bit of salt, some butter, and some brown sugar. Now let's talk about the tools we'll need to make this recipe. We're going to be using a loaf pan with some parchment paper, a couple of mixing bowls, wooden spoon for some of the mixing, a fork, spoon, measuring cup, teaspoon, a sifter for our flour, and for another one of the measurements I'm also going to be using a kitchen scale today with a bowl. Step 1 is to grease the loaf pan and line it with parchment paper. The combination of the grease and the parchment paper will mean that the bread won't stick to the sides of the pan. The paper is also going to help the bread heat evenly all around the pan. I've also preheated my oven to 350 degrees so that by the time we're done mixing everything, the oven will be nice and warm to start baking the bread. For step 2, we need to combine some brown sugar and some butter. The recipe calls for 6 ounces of brown sugar. And I looked it up, and 6 ounces of sugar converts to 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So I'm going to use my 1/4 cup measuring cup, and I'm going to fill that with the brown sugar. One of my other coworkers told me to pack the brown sugar into the measuring spoon and then let it out. So again, I'm trying to learn how to do this just from a book, but of course you don't have to do that. If you have people in your family that know how to bake, if you have friends, you can certainly get their advice, have them in the kitchen with you if that's safe to do. There are plenty of online videos that will show you how to do these as well. I'm just doing this with a book for the challenge. And so that's 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, or 6 ounces. Now I need 7 ounces of the butter, which I've been letting sit out for just a little bit to soften. Now a whole stick of butter, it says, is 4 ounces. So I need one of these and to get 4 ounces, but to get 7 I need 3/4 of this. Now I'm going to use a knife just to break up the butter a little bit more and make it a little easier to mix it. Again, I occasionally touch the food. Of course, my hands are clean, my surface is clean. And I'm going 1, 2, 3/4 of a cup. And that leaves me a little bit of butter left over. Now, I could have used this to grease the pan earlier if I'd done that first. And again, we're just going to... Now, this butter is a little softer than the other one, so it's cutting a little harder, but that's okay. Now, the book says I need to cream together the sugar and the butter. But what does creaming mean in terms of baking? Well, according to the book, it says that the back of a wooden spoon is just right for smoothly blending butter and sugar together against the side of a bowl. All right, so now if I was watching a video, I could watch how to do this correctly. I'm going to do my best from this. So we're trying to press together butter and sugar. So because I don't know what I'm doing, the technique I'm trying to use is to make sure that all of the loose bits of brown sugar are really blended into the paste that I'm making with the butter and the rest of the sugar. And it's getting pretty smooth. There's a little bit of butter that hasn't quite blended in yet, so I'm working on that. It's really starting to be smooth, almost like frosting. All right, so that's pretty well blended, and now we're ready for our next step. For this part, we're going to take, it says 2 to 3 bananas. I'm going to use 3, and they're nice and ripe. And we peel them and put them in the bowl. All right, now I'm going to use the back of a fork to mash the banana until it looks like a puree, the book says. One of the fun things about baking here so far is sort of the feel of it. You know, you get to mash things up with your hands. So if we're not quite sure what a puree looks like, I'm really trying to just get all of the solid chunks of banana so they're kind of very soft and mushy. And I wouldn't want to eat this just eating a regular banana, but for mixing into other ingredients, it's going to be much easier to mix, I think. So. All right, and there's my banana puree. For step 4, we're going to add the mashed banana, 3 eggs, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract into our brown sugar and butter cream. Here goes my mashed banana. And we need 3 eggs. Now I'm going to crack these into a bowl so that just in case I have a mistake and there are any bits of shell in there, I can fish those out before it goes into the rest of the mixture. And I do see little tiny bits in there, so we'll get those in a second. Take a spoon and fish out my bits of shell. And now that I've got the shell out of there, I'm going to add the eggs into the mixture. always remember to wash your hands after handling any raw egg. And now we need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Starting to smell good. And now I'm going to mix that all in. Got the yolks, the yellow part, mixing in. There's a lot of liquid from the white of the eggs and the vanilla extract. So it's very liquidy right now, but I'm going to be adding some flour soon to that, so that'll help. For the next part, we need 7 ounces of the self-rising flour. Now, 7 ounces equals 0.875 cups, which is hard to do with a quarter measuring cup or any of the other measuring cups that I have. So I'm going to use a different technique to measure the 7 ounces of flour that I need. I'm going to use a kitchen scale, and this one's electronic, so I'm going to turn that on. Put my bowl on there. Now the bowl weighs over a pound, so I'm going to clear the scale so that it's not measuring the weight of the bowl. Then I'm going to add the flour to the bowl until I get to 7 ounces. Now, an experienced baker might be able to fudge it a little bit with a measuring cup. That's certainly possible, but because I don't have experience, I want to make sure I'm following the recipe exactly the first time. And one of the things I think about with baking is that it's in the 600s of the Dewey Decimal System. All the cookbooks are. And the 600s are technology, things that we've figured out how to do as people. And one of those things is baking. Now I'm just slightly over 7 ounces here. 7 ounces exactly, all right. So in a way, baking is like doing a science experiment. Somebody else has figured out how to make banana bread, and I'm just trying to recreate the experiment on my own. And of course, when you're doing the science experiments, you want to measure things exactly. So there is a little bit of math along with the science involved here. Now, here's something I didn't own before I started this. That's a sifter. It's used for flour to kind of pour this through and make sure that there aren't any clumps in the flour. And I don't know if I was supposed to pour it all in at once, but I'm just going to kind of shake it over, and the nice fine powder of the flour is supposed to sift through the little holes. So there's no clumps, and it will all mix nice and evenly. So if nothing else, I learned about sifting this time around. And then we also need to sift in a teaspoon of the baking powder. I'm using a half teaspoon here because I already used my regular teaspoon on the vanilla extract. And finally we add a teaspoon of salt. Half teaspoon. And now we're going to mix all that together. Now it feels very liquidy, very sloshy at first, so I'm just going to keep mixing until the flour and the baking powder and everything else is all mixed together. getting some dough, just scraping a little bit of the dried flour off the sides as I go. Blend that in. And it's definitely starting to thicken now. Now it's a nice thick yellow mixture and it smells like banana bread that I've had before. So I think we're ready to put it in the oven. And for our final step, we're spooning the mixture into the pan. Getting all that banana goodness off the sides. All right, so it's in the pan and ready to go in the oven. And the recipe calls for it to bake for between 55 minutes and an hour. So I'm going to set my kitchen timer for 55 minutes and then I'll check it. That's going to give me plenty of time to clean up a little in the kitchen and take a break before we're ready to check the bread. So we'll check back in a little bit. And we're back. I've just taken the bread out of the oven after 55 minutes. I'm just going to do a quick check to see how it is. It's very soft in the middle. It's starting to get a nice browning on the top, but it's still very, very soft in the middle and it's still wet in the middle. So I'm going to stick it back in the oven to let it cook for a little bit longer. All right, so now my toothpick is coming out clean. So now I'm going to remove the bread from the pan. Let's see how this goes. All right, it looks pretty good. I'm going to let it cool for a little bit before I cut it. So my bread's been cooling for about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to use a bread knife to cut off a slice. Always be careful with a knife. If you are going to be using a knife and you're a younger person, please be sure to have an adult with you to keep an eye on things. And all right, so cut off a piece. There it is, you can see. Looks pretty good, nice and golden. Not too soft, not too hard. That's good. It's soft but firm. Tastes very good. I'm very happy with that. So just remember, if you'd like to learn more about baking and cooking, we have lots of books on that subject at the Oak Lawn Public Library. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. Thanks. I'll see you next time.